Right here.
I walk
It's,
by every day.
7:01, I'm going
Walk your
to
dogs?
call
Yeah,
this
my dog.
One dog.
meeting to order.
Around 7
And
o'clock or
the
so.
first order of business is the election of the chair. And on that note, I nominate John Scanlon for the position of chair.
I second it.
Okay. Jinx, you owe each other a Coke. We have a recommendation and a second on that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So moved.
You're going to be the co-chair?
Yeah, John.
Well,
Can I do good?
can't say I didn't see it coming. I think I saw it coming.
I was trying to hand him candy, but he wasn't paying any attention.
Okay, so, well, I guess we'll take over from here, and we're going to go right into the meeting minutes. Seems like so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we nominate, yeah, we should nominate a vice chair. I'm going to nominate Tony as the vice chair.
And she'll decline, thank you
Really?
very
Not
much.
even fill in? Bob?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll
I
nominate
get
Bob.
nominated.
I'll second that.
I will go.
Bob's done it before, so.
Thank you.
So we have Bob nominated and a second on that. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the ayes have it. Bob is the vice chair.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so, did everybody look at the minutes?
Not everybody, but I did.
I looked at them a long time ago, and then I refreshed my memory today. Does that count?
Everybody's pretty much,
I'll make a
All
motion that
set.
we accept the minutes as written. Second.
we have a motion to accept and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So, accepted the minutes of February 8th, 2012. Okay. The next thing we have is scheduling the department head reviews. And look at this. I thought that was Tony's. We should probably look at when we won't meet. April. Let's go through this. The 11th. 9th. Do you have the schedule from last year when we did it?
At home,
At home? Last year?
we had, the PD come in one month, and we had OA come in the other. Did we have the selectmen come in too? I don't think we did last year. And then we had one month that we took off as the vacation. Was it I think it was July.
July, we took off. So it's probably a good idea if we just, I don't know how anybody feels, or if it works out with, it was the year before last, we met once at the police station, once at the garage, just sort of to get a feel of what they have going on and some of their needs and
Yeah, that was a
Stuff
few
like
years
that.
ago.
2 years
Yeah.
ago, it wasn't last year.
It's all been renovated, so that would be really nice to go up there.
So I think,
Thinking that same thing.
yeah, it might be a good idea to go up there and see. Do they have their new cars yet, or any coming in?
It should be next week. One-
Next week?
The other one's not going to be coming for the fall. One should be within next week, maybe.
Okay, so why don't we do May 9th, PD, we can check and see if that works for him.
Right at the PD.
We'll meet right at the PD, and provided it's a good time for them. And I guess we could, June's probably a good month for the Public Works, so that would be June 13th.
You want to see about meeting there, or do we?
Why don't we ask Dennis if he can have us over and
Sure,
take a look
is he
at
going to
stuff.
provide milk and cookies?
He's a tour of the,
Check his budget.
That's more like Bobby, not Dennis, so.
Okay.
and that we can skip over July. There's not much really happening, which would be, so July 11th, will be no meeting.
We're not going to meet on July. Okay.
As we look through the year, I don't see any conflicts till we get to numbers.
Conflicts with what?
I don't see any conflicts in the calendar with any of the other months for holidays. So we'll just stay on the regular Wednesday schedule. And
So that's the
It should
second
be all
Wednesday
set.
of the month.
second Wednesday at 7 p.m.
I won't be here for that meeting, the 13th.
The 13th,
I'll be out in Far
13th
West,
of what?
June. Shannon doesn't want me at her wedding. I could ask her, but she'd probably like to be there. I don't know for sure.
we can arrange for a private tour
Do that, all right.
of the Public Works and stuff.
We have a new member, too, that I'm not sure everybody knows.
Just go around, I don't know if everybody, you know Tony?
No, it's Tony. Hold on, I'll do it. You ready? That's Tony.
Okay.
That's Bob. You're John.
I'm John.
That's Jane. And that's Catherine.
We're all right.
You're the
And
only one
this would be
missing.
Lynn. Who ironically is my neighbor.
And this is Eric.
I was going to say,
Welcome, Eric.
It's good to be here.
He says that now.
And I parked legally today.
Good job.
Yesterday, I got threatened to be towed.
You did what?
I got threatened to be towed yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
out here?
Yeah,
He parked
in the
in
park, in
Joanna
Joanna Oliver's parking lot.
He didn't know we'd gotten the axe.
They
Yeah, we can,
they knocked on
So
my
no
door.
parking across the street in Joanna Oliver's parking lot anymore.
I never parked there.
You know who parks there all the time is the chief.
After last night, I don't think he will be.
you might want to check with the chief where he wants us to park. 'Cause, it's a little tight up there.
Park
Park across the street,
Parking
Ernie's.
lot.
So we'll park across the street. It's okay to park.
Oh, at the PD. It's a 7 o'clock meeting at night,
Yeah.
right? There'll be plenty of places to park.
Okay.
It won't be that full, not at 7 o'clock at night.
Okay, we were just going over, let's see, May 9th, we're going to meet at the police station.
Okay.
7 o'clock. June 13th, by the way, I got nominated and elected to be the chair.
Is it the anti-coup?
Yeah.
That's a vice chair.
And Tony refused to be the vice, too. So- And we introduced Eric.
Hi, we had met the other day, we're neighbors, actually.
We met over the fence.
Our dogs like each other.
So May 9th, we'll be at the police station, 7 o'clock, so we can take a look and
Okay.
see all the great thing they've done in that little space they have. And on the 13th, the highway department, same time, 7 o'clock. And on July 11th, we're going to not have a meeting, just to get the month off.
Okay.
Okay, and the next thing would be the financials. I did not go over mine yet.
The police department, equipment maintenance and repair, is that because they bought new, or is that because of the ongoing work? I know they got some new equipment. They're at 55%, about 55%.
It'll be down at the bottom of page 3.
Page 3, yeah.
There's a list of items that they purchased in February. If you go to the expenditure.
Okay, but is that, is a part of the new building improvements?
The vehicle maintenance? No.
Okay.
They
Equipment.
purchased,
No, this is equipment maintenance and repair.
And down the bottom, page 3, line
PG?
line 340.
maintenance. I just went through.
It's not vehicle. It's about what the building improvements are, that's why, and I know they were getting new equipment in there, I just wondered if that was all a part of the improvement.
One of them spent over half their budget.
They had made a lot of purchases that were in the wrong places, and that was correct. And then the actual expenditures for the improvements were put in the third column, so that would be in the building maintenance.
One of the things that were not.
And building
included in
repair.
the Renovations was the sprinkler system.
Okay.
that
And the heat.
Yes, heat.
Just didn't think they needed heat down there.
So cozy,
Go figure.
so
I
cozy.
just wanted to make sure it wasn't the new toilet.
You had to mention that. You had to mention that.
Yeah, but I'm the only one who knows what it is.
We have to keep a, I hope they're working on keeping the gas, because from what I've heard, it's supposed to go up even more. Over $5 a gallon for fuel this year, they're expecting.
I don't know, it's coming down now.
See, I had heard the opposite. that
It's going
pretty
down.
much
Is it?
done.
Yeah. Yep, it started down.
I hope
I
so.
was about to put a
Put the
kitchen.
cuffs on them and get
No. Well, on the other hand, natural gas is plunged.
US heat, so it's cheaper.
I have a question. With the buy money, does that go into evidence afterwards?
And the money they use for,
Yeah, the
Drug
drug
purchases and whatnot?
drug investigation, yeah, it says buy money, okay? I'd like to buy some money too. How cheap is it going?
that is the money they use for drug investigation.
Right, but once they go out, I understand what the purpose of it is. I just want to know, is that money then locked up as evidence? so that it is no longer available to use for a second buy or any other purpose, that money taken out
The
of that
portion that
line,
is
and that's-
used, yes. It becomes evidence, yeah,
Until when?
until the case is resolved. And that could be quite a while.
So that differs, what's the money for drug investigation? What does that entail?
That's the money, that's where they get that supply money from.
Okay.
I just thought it looked funny, buy money.
But I think drug investigation is also, you're looking at 650, drug investigation.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
budgeted amount was 1,500.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the money that they use, that's any type of equipment they're gonna need. All kinds of, I can just imagine.
And to buy money. You're gonna be buying money.
Take money to make money.
Yes,
back up
they
to-
recently buy money and they put 4 people down with that money.
Nice.
Yeah, but how many of those cases have they actually processed all the way through? Not necessarily something recent, but, like last year's stuff. That's a question for the chief.
I just asked him that. The bigger case, that should be pretty well, those final warrants will go out, probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks. A lot of the delays in these bigger cases is the FBI evidence. Once they send things out like DNA to the FBI, we're at their mercy, and we have to wait until they process it. And there's quite a backlog with them. The Tanger robbery is one, for example. They sent the DNA out to FBI, and that's all we've been waiting for, is for them to process it and send it back to us so they can say who's wearing what mask. We're ready, but we have to wait for them. And on these bigger cases, that's what happens.
I just wanted to know what his percentage of actually close, basically, when they make it, when they,
I mean, indictments versus convictions,
yeah.
We can ask him for a report.
indictments
But I would
versus
go- I would
convictions.
go back 5 years and come forward, see what we've done in 5 years then.
Exactly.
Now, if they do a drug bust and find a lot of cash in that place, what happens with that cash? I know it comes to the local police, but what do they do with it?
Well, I'd like to say that we get it, but I've heard 2 stories on that. My understanding is the drug task force gets some of that money, but it doesn't all come to us.
What do they get it for? I'm saying, the drug, what do they do with it?
They use it primarily for more drug busts.
To buy drugs.
There was a law out there, like when the federal government busts somebody for drugs, they keep all of
Everything,
those
the
things,
house, whatever.
Cars, houses,
Yeah.
they take
An
out,
auction.
et cetera, et cetera.
That's not just
It's not the
federal.
same with the local police. When we hand out tickets and whatnot, we don't necessarily get that fine money back. It goes to the court system.
What kind of,
But I'm
But it's a
saying,
question for Bobby
For
to
Bob.
answer
Okay.
completely.
Yeah,
Next
'cause-
one for
Yeah.
Bob.
what kind of janitorial supplies do we buy from Citibank?
We buy it with a credit card.
So that doesn't say who was paid, that just... Right. Because I thought that was the whole point of having a list of who was being paid there.
May I back up to the sale of town property? That piece probably get auctioned? Will we get our 110 out of it? Who will it?
Page, I can't read the page numbers, page 7 maybe.
All the fees,
I see.
we pay for the special detail,
Yeah.
everything. It'll be a little bit,
So we don't, there's, whenever they use the credit card, we have no idea who the money's going to.
plus the attorney fees, and then
It seems,
he has to
Sold a
also
piece of property,
pay
got
the-
Yeah, Beach Street.
he has to file the-
Look at what they did in previous years.
Penalties on, so that has to go to security, he has to send that process, just through.
Nothing's easy.
So we have to put that fees into that fees.
I wrote them down.
it's what all of these are, like
I have an idea
First
what-
National Bank,
but I wanna make
the
sure
light
that
bulb.
you know.
Yeah, that's where I need
It's kind of interesting how much it costs us to do all that. If do they give us grants back, that type of thing? We have to,
for,
all the like the drug
I mean, solving
indictments and
crime.
stuff, and it just comes out of the town's pocket, which is, what line does that come out of?
Depends on what it is. The detectives, you're looking at drug investigations, investigation expenses, you're looking at intoximeter, it just depends. Photo supplies, all of those things pay a part. In fact, the whole budget is going to play some kind of role in it, because after all, if they don't have bullets even there, not able to go out and solve crimes, but the major lines would be those that are just named off. But those are all good questions to ask the chief, get it right from the horse's mouth.
As far as this report goes, I've found this to be the case for several years running now. We normally, during the year, we get monthly, the whole monthly packet here, and we can tell that, this is as of March, and it gives us the March detail, so it shows us all the expenses for March. But what's missing is that we don't have details for what was spent in January or February. Can we get those,
January and February expenditures?
Yep, current year expenditures. Separately. Yeah, by month, so that we have the
We
phone.
only didn't do it last year because he was so bogged down at the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly, and I know that it's the same, so even if we could get that as a compilation here, it just makes it easier when we're going through and we're looking here. Like I saw that there was, that the administration dues, or one of the lines is 93%
99%,
spent.
yeah.
But those
But
are the
there's only
first of the
20.
year.
Right, I know they're for the whole year, but we only see, when we look at the detail, we only see $20 worth of
Yeah.
dues. We don't know what the other,
You're looking at already year-to-date is $3,279.50.
right, and we don't have the
Yeah.
detail for that, so it'd be nice to be able to have that detail. To know that those were the annual dues for whoever needed to have dues paid.
Lynn, if you look at the expenditures, for instance, there's First National Bank of Omaha. It's
Yeah,
for windshield washer
I
fluid.
get it, but it would be
Okay.
helpful to know who we were paying for those things. I mean, it is kind of my business.
I'm not sure what you mean, who we're paying.
Well, we're not
it's
paying the
charged.
credit card company.
Oh,
it's going
okay,
to
I got you.
Staples or-
Who we're buying it for, I got you.
We're buying the products from.
Okay.
Right, but, I mean, the report is saying we're paying Citibank, because that's what the description is, Cisco, Cisco, S. Lloyd House, et cetera. But then it says we're paying Citibank, obviously we're not.
Like Staples, or are we going?
Right.
Credit card.
I mean, it's a pretty small deal, I can probably figure out who we're buying from, but it's a small town, but,
I can ask him.
It still should be under the account that it falls under. I mean, we use the visa for many different things, but if we use it for administrative, it should be under administrative. If we use it for police, it should be under police.
Well, for instance, it says here, First National Bank of Omaha, windshield washer fluid. I think what Lynn is saying is, where did we buy that? Is that what you're saying, Lynn?
yes, that is
Yeah,
correct.
who was the actual
Pretty sure we didn't
purveyor?
buy it
Yeah.
from a bank. Yeah, the actual
Most of our
vendor.
supplies come from,
WBB?
So now,
No?
oh, no, the office supplies, I'm sorry.
Staples.
No,
WB Mason?
janitorial supplies, Cisco. We
And
switched.
that's not what we
Well, but there's a lot of payments showing in there to Cisco.
right.
Do they
Yeah,
bill
well-
us for some and we
Because
do?
they buy it in bulk and then they separate it into the deposits. So you would, as they use it, it would get billed to the
Oh, okay.
But I'll ask him.
So it's like central purchasing for the town, and then they have
I'll ask him
to
give us a
account it?
breakdown. Credit card expenditures.
Okay.
Someone
Well,
else?
some it shows us, for instance, Central Equipment Company is where we got the Intox tickets and the mouthpieces, but I think it's when they use credit cards that it's not showing up.
Looks like on this one, Citibank office supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, National Bank of Omaha video
Yeah.
web hosting.
Yeah.
I didn't know Citibank.
Yeah, they've really branched out, haven't they?
Did you say they're putting a new heater in the police station? Is that going to be oil or
No,
gas?
it's not a new heater. Down in the basement, the area that is now going to be for locker space and whatnot was really a storage area, so there wasn't any ductwork
Oh, I
in
see.
that area. People didn't inhabit it, they didn't use it for people purposes. Now they are, and when we priced it out, we never even considered that there wasn't heat in the area. So there's an extra expense to run the ductwork in before it was finished, to supply heat to those areas that will now be utilized by people instead of storage.
Is this building gas heat?
This is natural gas.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is not.
Yeah, that's good. And the police station is natural gas, isn't it?
I believe
They've
it
saved
is.
a lot there. And I guess they have quite the glut right now of
Let's not get in a conversation about fracturing.
Oh, we could bring some power lines down from Canada. Talk
Not
about that.
either.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to go
I
do
know
some
the
Tai
fire
Chi to
station's
calm
going to
down.
natural gas. Unitil, is that who does the natural gas? Who does that? They're going to put the lines in free from the street.
The technology expenses at 47% for financial.
Yep. Great deals. I made the purchase, take advantage of
Okay,
it.
so he's just front loading.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of that whole
And that's what he looks for. He knows what he needs, and when he sees it, he always buys it as a discount.
Well, that's good. I noticed some of, like the animal control, he paid half, and
Yeah,
the
that
Pines
was the
paid
agreement.
half. So that's good.
That's
So
the
it
agreement.
cuts back on the tans.
Yeah, exactly.
That works so great.
And then the other one I had the question on is the administrative compensated absences, is it 65%?
What page are you on?
Page
Page 1 of the breakdown.
line,
Line 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. What's going on there?
That was buying out unused time, was it not?
So you only anticipate a third of that again for the rest of the year?
Paid out.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was paid out at the end of the year.
No. Years ago, we changed it for a choice to either be paid out monthly or quarterly or biannual.
Employee's choice?
Buyout is, happens a couple of times.
We are an amazingly generous employer. Health officer miscellaneous expenses, is it just twice a year you buy them, or is that what that's about? Health officer miscellaneous expenses is 51, is that just you stock up every?
It's usually, typically those expenses for me are water samples.
So, little vials and that kind of thing, or?
Depending on the samples, when I did Simmons Court Brook, those are a different type of water sample, and the bottles are quart.
Oh.
I don't buy the bottles, I get them from the state lab, but the cost of that water sample, I think, is $120.
Okay.
The typical water samples I do for E. coli are...
Do you buy those, like, for a specific case, or do you have them on hand?
Depends on what I'm testing for. If I'm testing for diesel or petroleum products, I have to use those brown amber bottles.
Right.
And there's an acid in the bottom of it.
Has a shelf life, is that the idea?
The
Or you
bottles
just
are-
don't want bottles of acid sitting in your house?
Yeah, actually, I got 4 of them. But they're good for a year,
Okay.
typically. The same with the typical E. coli water sample bottles. They're good for about a year. Those samples typically...
So is that amount
$20.
dependent on the number of cases you see?
It depends on the type of case. Like, I've got the brook that runs in Lockmere between Quinns, White Rock, and then down to the lake. That's an E. coli test. I tested them in January. The count had gone down so low, I won't test again until the temperature maintains above 60 or 70.
Okay.
Because E. coli grows in heat. So I'll test it again, probably June or July, just to make sure that that level's going down.
Maintaining low.
But the Simmons Court Brook, I probably won't test again. But if somebody calls me up with a petroleum leak, then I would use those bottles, and it would be a $120 test. So I never know. Never know what you're going to find in the water. Although I will be buying some gloves. No.
You're so fastidious, Kathy.
Oh, yeah. I'll be buying some gloves.
The animal control's at 50%, is that just two
Payments.
payments?
Yeah.
And we used to pay them out.
We used to pay them
Every year,
all at
but-
once, but we were trying to get all of those outside agencies, well, he's not an outside agency, we have to have, to pay at least 50%, or if not quarterly, for the bigger ones.
And it avoids the TAMs.
We still have 2 more elections this year, primary and the general election. So that the moderator and
Well, we just have
Supervisor of the-
we did the
Jim.
primary, we did the town, we just have the election in November, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
just the November election.
It's hard
there's
to...
plenty. Yeah. Are there any new vendors that we're using this year? At this
I
time?
think Cisco is the newest one, although the park commissioners will be using a different company to do the maintenance of the park.
Is the Grange open? How are we doing with the Grange? Is it Chad?
May 10th?
Yeah, May 10th?
1:30, no.
Is that Saturday or Sunday?
Thursday.
Oh.
Governor's going to be...
It's a senior center. It's
That's
not
true.
meant for us.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
I'm far from...
Speak for yourself, Tony.
Talking to
Everybody's welcome now, I'm sure.
Everybody's welcome.
At any time to
And
visit.
2 of our seniors, the Boston Post came person, Bill Bailey, and one of our first seniors that we helped will be cutting the ribbon with us.
Oh, nice.
What time is that?
1:30.
And it looks absolutely beautiful now.
And well, the pictures that I saw at town meeting were very impressive.
And the parking's all, parking lot figured out? for-
No.
No,
Still,
In advance.
Bill and Randy. He's going to have those two. He's on this one.
Pat's been awarded the Ron Award, and she doesn't know the state. Receive an award for work achievement.
Yay. Thanks, Pat.
I don't need any more chocolate in my life. It's too tempting if it's...
Years of practice.
No willpower.
I can resist anything but temptation.
No plate. You can do this. What? We're chit-chatting down here.
I didn't know if anybody else has anything else. And we can, what I'd like to do is, if everybody can get their questions together for the chief,
I haven't read it all.
and if possible, maybe we can give him a heads up on any of them so that he will have any information that we might need.
I'm going to call him in the morning to, so he can give us an explanation what happens when they do a drug bust, what happens to the money and whatever else they get to collect.
Indictments versus conviction
And then
count
I've
for
asked him, I'm
like
going to ask him
5
to
years.
go back 5 years and show arrests for major crimes and show the timeline of the resolution of those crimes. Any other detail you want to see?
These indictments versus convictions.
Tim could do them.
It'd be nice to know how we can make some money off of them to replenish for the costs that we put out.
If you go to the PD website, it does have email there. So anytime you have a question like that, you can email him. But I will ask him to have this information for
I
him.
think this is regulated by the state, though, in some way, isn't it?
Which,
What they do with the monies from
it's
drug busts.
changed.
They must have changed that law, because remember that place in Florida, the guy was like buying boats for his police officers and stuff? It was a local community, and they
Yeah.
had so many drug busts, they were just rolling in dough, and
yeah.
it just all went to the local police department, so they had
Nice.
vacation houses.
Way more than they could use.
They had bought a tank for the department.
Auction on it. I would have bought some at auction.
What, the drugs?
No, the money.
Who do they think they are, GSA? My
Yeah.
God.
Although I still want to know how many people we're talking about. They keep talking about the gross number, but if that was for 100,000 employees, it was very reasonable.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know, I mean, and then nobody ever, I have not seen that number.
I give
Just
them
out of
9.
curiosity. Yeah, 9 employees.
Okay?
I think we find the drug investigation is very different from the drug forfeiture money. That's a different category altogether. Drug forfeiture money goes to the drug investigation money is expenditure.
Right, which comes from the town. Right,
The
right.
parking fines go to the town.
Parking fines go to the town, that's what we use to get the stickers and so on and so forth.
To run that.
But speeding tickets,
Dog
motor
fines.
vehicle tickets, it goes to the court, the majority of it. The dog.
But we have to pay
The dog
to-
license fees, there's a small portion that goes to the state, I think, but the rest comes to us. But we lose money on licensing dogs. It costs us more to license the dogs.
Now, on our parking fines,
No, I've always thought that licensing dogs was, I mean, the yearly dog license is an exceptionally reasonable fee. I have 2 dogs, and it just
How much
strikes me
is
as insane. $6, isn't it, for a
Yeah.
neutered dog?
And if you're a senior, you get
There's a senior
$2
price for a
off
senior
your
dog.
first
There's a
one.
puppy price, there's a neutered price, there's a not neutered
Yeah.
price. There's a kennel price.
Well, it can be expensive if you don't license them on time, and, you know,
$5.
you
You notice I wasn't saying nothing?
you could end up in jail.
You could end up having some police come and knock on your door and say,
Right.
For your dog
Mr.
license?
Belair, you need to come with us down to the PD. We're going to put you through the rigor. We're going to take fingerprints and pictures of you. What did I do? You didn't license your dog.
Did that happen?
Yes, it did.
That's funny.
That sounded like a first-person story.
Most people don't realize that's
What did the dog do?
It's a state law, not a town law.
I have no dog. That's my cat. I dressed him up.
I shot it.
I gave it up. Ran away.
Okay.
Holy mackerel.
And that was a first date.
I should arrest the people
Pretty
that don't
close
pick
to
up
it.
after their dogs.
That's funny.
Is there anything else, Mr. Chairman?
No, I think that's it. Just have
Make a motion to
questions
adjourn.
ready?
I second it.
Second, and we're adjourned at
Wait to get my position back.
7:45.
Good job, Tony.
These meetings.
The ones until October, really.
Oh, good, you got that book.
September, October. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
really interesting.
Oh, I'm sure it makes a great reading.
Yeah, that was the book I was going to give you, Eric.
Yeah, it's well written.
Eric, that was the
puts it
book
in a
I was going to
pretty,
give you, but I couldn't find my extra one. I've
format.
got 2 of those.
Welcome aboard. That's a good. We'll have to figure out carpooling or
one?
something. Both of us to be driving.
Well, I came from the school today, so it
Oh,
doesn't
well,
matter.
then that won't work.
No, I came from the circus. They're doing a circus.
So what's going on at the county? Did you read the paper about that?
Merrimack County?
Yeah. Did you go up there?
I've been better.
Thieves. Somebody walked out of the
They
meeting,
wanted new
pushed his
TVs.
chair up,
That's the way to do it.
Well, they got the
because they
key.
can't believe that, you know, you have to borrow money, and
Gotta love it.
it was the county, the formality meeting where they give them permission to borrow the TANs to support that, and nobody can understand it. Yeah. Yeah.
I went to work, I left at 2, picked up my mother, brought her up to Dartmouth, then dropped her off, and I just barely made it here for the meeting.
town at the end of the year.
On that note, no, I wasn't.
But they have to borrow it all.
Right, right.
People are.
Add that to your taxes if you steal that.
Why are you stealing money with that?
I hope that doesn't come out of the office supplies.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. No wonder why they don't list what they are. If we really knew, we'd be upset.
I guess.
How do you
You know,
pay
if you're going to go to a meeting and speak up, know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Have an understanding of the process you're about to insert yourself into.
It was created, and it's in the free
The
newspaper.
Laconia Sun?
The little free thing.
Is that the Laconia Sun? Yeah. Look for it. This weekly. I get the Concord Monitor every day, but I just started again.
This will make 11 years in May.